And we are live here at the Astro Weather. Good morning, everybody. It is your host, Robert Phoenix. And we're getting a little bit of a late start today. And that's because the cleaning people decided to rearrange my studio and my life. So it took me a little bit longer to get it all together. But we're here. And it is the 13th of September. And I'm looking very pink today. I don't know why that is, but it must be the sun. It must be the Balearic sun giving the tomato red sheen to my face. So we'll have a few more images of summer here before we transition into the fall backgrounds, which I will do my very best to find and create some aesthetic value. I hope everybody's having a good morning, and wherever you are in this world, on this realm, that your time is being well spent, and it's either productive, restful, or in the worst case scenario, growth inducing. That's what we'll call our periods where we have to pull up our socks and our socks and our jocks, the growth inducing periods. All right, so without any further delay, let's get into the old Astro Weather. Astro Weather. Astro Weather. Astro Weather. All right. Here we go. We're kind of phasing out of Virgo here. We've got 9 more days of Virgo, and everything just seems to be speeding up, even with Mercury retrograde. And how's the Mercury retrograde going for everyone? It's been a very interesting Mercury retrograde for me. Let's see, website got hacked. Internet was down from Saturday night until yesterday. Managed to stream off of the phone for the Monday night show. And then yesterday's show managed to stream off that as well, using the hotspot. But it's been an interesting Mercury retrograde. A lot of times I'll kind of cruise through it. This time, definitely not unscathed. But hopefully it makes us better people. It's so interesting for me. Like, I'll give you an example. Mercury retrograde. So the reason why my internet was out for 3 days is because there's a kind of a fail-safe switch on my internet box, which is connected to a tower behind my house. Actually, they built a tower out here in the country to grab the internet signal that comes directly from a radio tower. That's how I get internet. And there's a fail-safe inside of that. And basically, if there is some kind of a power surge or the power goes out, the internet will shut off. And literally they have to come out and jack into the system with their program and then hit the reset switch. And I've been here for going on, 2.5 years now. And it's like, why didn't you just disable that in the beginning? Because that's what happened. Well, I'm going to disable this. Great. We also had Starlink go down. Now that is interesting from a collective perspective with the Mercury retrograde, because Starlink provides internet service for people in this country, but also elsewhere in places like Ukraine. And there's a story that Elon Musk essentially denied use of service in Ukraine for Starlink and did not make a lot of people very happy. So sometimes Mercury retrograde actually works out, and it can work out for the better. Who knows? Did we skip a World War III scenario where the Ukrainians going to avail themselves of the Starlink technology and use it to launch drone strikes deep into the heart of the Russian territory We'll never know. But we'll take the surface narrative. We'll take the surface narrative, and the surface narrative says, why not? Why not? How are people feeling with Mars and Libra? I'm feeling a little feisty now. I'm having this Mars-Mercury conjunction in my chart. I've got Mercury and the moon conjunct at 11 and 12 Libra, with the moon slightly ahead of Mercury. I'm feeling a little feisty today. I actually challenged another astrologer to a debate on Twitter. I've never done that before. I'm going to blame it on Mars and Libra. Are you in a debating mood? Are people in a debating mood? I should take advantage of it. I think I could probably do pretty well with this Mars and Libra. It would make my wit quite sharp. Pick your battles. Like, I think it's better to cooperate. I talked about this yesterday with the Mars Libra sextile. But man, sometimes the astrology is just the astrology. And I'm feeling feisty today. It must be the Balearic sun on my face. That's what I think. So yeah, find some allies, cooperate. Usually better than not. But I'm telling you, man, this Mars and Libra, it's like, okay, all right, let's balance this situation out. I'm going to balance the situation out, motherfucker, or else, right? And everybody's Mars is different. Really, you should study your Mars. This is very important to understanding your operating system. And I have Mars in Cancer, which means that I'm supposed to be somebody who can defend others, right? Mars in Cancer is what I would call defensive. And there's a good side to it and a bad side to it. The good side to it is I will stick up for people and defend them. The bad side to it is that sometimes over the course of my life, I've had to watch myself being defensive about certain things, which is kind of a Mars sort of like, okay, the best defense is a good offense. I also have it square my sun. But here, we have to understand Mars and Libra. Now we're in the second decan, which is the Aquarian decan. Oh, no wonder I'm angling for a debate about astrology. It's in the astrological decan. We'll see what happens. They seem like nice people, but I just have a different opinion on the chart of the U.S. Anyway, find the allies. It's only going to be Mars is only going to be moving, closer and faster. Venus is still picking up steam. Now, I think new ventures are difficult today. We have the moon going into this balsamic phase, getting ready to hit Black Moon Lilith. There's this kind of fertile energy with Venus, and like we're trying to I talked about this earlier in the week. We're trying to squeeze the last rays of 2023 kind of out of the sky, even though the rays of 2023 have been fucking merciless, right? It's kind of like, oh, come on, can't we just have a couple of days of pleasure and fun before we get into the dark grind? Because we will have a dark grind that comes along with, of course, the change of seasons. And I think, what did they talk about for this winter? Very cold and probably dry. I'm not betting this is going to be a wet winter. I think it'll be a dry winter. Now, Saturn does go direct in November, so maybe in Pisces, maybe that'll free up some precipitation. Maybe the HARP weather machines will go down for a month or two. Wouldn't that be nice? But we got these squares happening today, and there feels to me like there's a little desperation in the air with this square going on with Venus and Juno and the moon, and squaring off against Uranus and Jupiter. Watch out for betting and gambling propositions unless you're really good and you have computer analyzed and statistical models, which might be in your favor. I would say these squares reek of desperation, but there's also frustration. I think we're coming down to the end of this cycle. The moon is how there's this phrase that's become very popular. D whatever, right? Like degrowth, degrowthing, decapitalization. In terms of Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers taking a rest, they call it deloading on his arm. So we're in this D phase right now, right? And with the moon in this balsamic, in the balsamic phase, right? We're in a how would I say this? We're in a de-responsibility phase. We're de-adulting. That's what we're doing. We're de-adulting here. It's like, fuck it. I want to have some fun. Fuck it. Fuck the responsibility. Fuck it. I want to have some fun. And this moon is just like aching. Like, it's getting ready to limp across the finish line. It's, the moon in Leo is fixed sign. So people are just fixated on, God damn it. The summer went by and I didn't have any fun. And it was too fucking hot. Now it's starting to get cooled out. Can I just get one weekend, one decent weekend? Then all of a sudden your responsibilities kick in. And here comes that Virgo moon, the Virgo moon balsamic coming in, starting tonight, tomorrow, conjuncting Mercury retrograde. And there's just too much responsibility. And it's like, let it go. De-adulting. That was the word that I was looking for. De-adulting. Today is a de-adulting phase. It's okay. I'm giving you permission to de-adult today. De-adult. The good news is that Mercury's retrograde, and if you cross the line and indulge in too much de-adulting, Mercury retrograde, you can always apologize. Hey, look, I'm sorry about that. I was de-adulting. You understand, don't you? Yeah, I know. I wanted to de-adult date myself, but I couldn't do it. Okay, well, tomorrow you can de-adult, and then I can be the adult. This is what it feels like. It's sort of like, can't we just squeeze out a little more fun? Now, Black Moon Lilith here does not necessarily bode well with this conjunction coming up because it's the shadow of the moon, and we can clearly see things like self-indulgence and to some degree narcissism. If there's a sign, I think all signs have narcissism built into them, by the way. Some signs might be a bit more how do I say this, a bit more supercharged with narcissism than others, but they all have it. Even a sign like Virgo is, I just want to help people and I want to serve people. There's even narcissism in that sometimes. Look at me. Aren't I a good server? Yes. You're a good server. Yes, that's how I define my identity. They all have it. Leo doesn't have the patent on it. Although Leo, if they're smart, will just own it. Say, fuck it. That's who I am, right? So is there value in today? Yes, there's value in today for sure. Because you do have that Virgo sun coming really into more of that trine with Uranus and the trine with Pluto. Here is the problem. If you get too caught up in de-adulting, you will miss some adult opportunities. So try not to give yourself a couple of hours to de-adult. And it's like, okay, all right, I'm the parent now. The de-adulting phase is over. Time to get back to work. Because there are opportunities. The Sun Pluto trine, the Sun Uranus, and they're fast. You got to take advantage of them quickly. If you don't take advantage of them quickly, you're going to miss them. It's the way it is. You're going to miss those opportunities. So de-adult for a while and then get back in the game. Saturn is coming more into a square with Uranus, and I think there's a general, I wouldn't call it malaise, but I feel like people are tired of authority. I think they're really tired of authority, and I think that goes along with the de-adulting and that Saturn square with Uranus. It's like, fuck it. No, not doing it. Not doing it. I'm on break right now. I mean, there is this. The other thing too is that authority figures with that Saturn Uranus square will not be happy if you take your de-adulting too far. I'm just saying. They're like, okay, once you de-adult your ass right on out of here. Well, but the problem is that with the workforce, it's hard to find adults. It's just the way it is. With the old Calvinistic work ethic here in the good old U.S. of A. is a faint and fading memory of times gone by. Let's see, Vesta is about to go into Cancer, and boy, that is going to really kick off a very nostalgic period. Right here, Vesta's at 29. Get ready for the nostalgia trips. They are coming. They are coming. And also, there's some fear here with Vesta moving into Cancer. Like, where's it all going? Is my 401k okay? Am I going to be able to survive and live out the rest of my days in relative health? And is the WHO and the World Economic Forum going to come from my house if I don't take their jibber jab, right? I mean, there's a lot, because the thing with Cancer is that sometimes it can really bring up fears. And when Vesta goes into zero, man, it is like potent. It's like, okay, we get very serious about locking things down. Oh, there's a phrase, locking things down. Be careful with this. Remember, it all starts with the elderly. They get people with two groups, either the elderly or the young. And I think they're going to go probably back to they're going to play the elderly card again. That's what I think. We're just coming off of this Ceres South Node conjunction, where I do think it's important to nurture important relationships in your life. Remember the people who make your life work, who make your life linked up, connected, and supported. Let's put it that way. Okay. There's your astro weather for today. Kind of a wacky day. Try not to miss out on the opportunity. There's some opportunities here, and they happen fast. So get your de-adulting out of the way, and then get in the game. All right, let's look at our star of the day. Well, I'm starting to fade a little bit. This is I think, part of the light setting. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna play with the green screen just a little bit here. Just a little tiny bit. There we go. How's that? Oh, much better. I look less red too. Now I look pink. Okay. Here we go. Star of the day. Star of the day. It's the star of the day. And we are talking about none other than Fiona Apple. Yes, it is Fiona Apple's birthday. Happy birthday, Fiona Apple. Very interesting chart. Very interesting chart. You could totally see the Scorpio rising in Miss Apple with her first record. Very Scorpion-esque, right? Like kind of dark. She's young. You know, she's singing about things that she shouldn't be singing about. She's posing in ways that maybe she shouldn't really be posing. She definitely had that Scorpio rising, kind of dark, young ingenue. She's incredibly talented. And Uranus in the first house, she's sudden, right? Like she hit, man. She hit like a ton of bricks when she broke on that first record. She was everywhere. So, and the way that she basically rose to fame was so incredibly easy. She was living in LA, hanging out with her friends. She comes from a a music and acting background. Her father was an actor on a Showtime series that was fairly popular. Comes from a very musical family. Moves to LA, and her friend was a babysitter for a woman that worked at MCA or one of the major labels. And Fiona had a tape, and she gave the tape to the woman who she did babysitting for, and that was it. That was it. Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours, Stevie Wonder. Right? That is Uranus. It is sudden. Sudden as a ton of bricks. And you could also see here, right, that things to some degree move very quickly, very, very quickly. So we have sextiles with Mercury and Mars. That's fast, right? Sextile with Mercury and Jupiter. So Mercury, of course, is the voice. Looks like she's got Mercury retrograde. That's interesting. And everything happened very, very quickly. And she moved from New York to California, and that would really activate that Mars-Jupiter conjunction. Totally activate it. And I guarantee you that if we did her chart or relocated her chart, her Mars and Jupiter would be in her 10th house, which of course would be great for work and being discovered and all the things that go along with it. She's born on a new moon. You can tell she's very moony. Some people say loony. And but she's very in touch with her emotions. I feel like she's kind of a modern day version of Joni Mitchell. She sings about relationships and the pain and all that stuff. But she's much younger. She's a weird combination of being an old soul and a young soul, right? And I think you can see that with Saturn and Venus, because Leo's a young sign. It is a young sign that likes to play, likes to have fun, right? But she also has that Saturn conjunction. So she's this weird combination of being playful and young, and she loves animals, and there is a little girl inside of Fiona Apple, but yet she's also like ancient. Like she makes that first record, and she's like 18 years old, and sounds like she's 28. And she's been doing it all her life. In some ways, she had. She started playing piano when she was 4 or 5. There's videos of her on the internet where she's doing that. So the challenge for Fiona Apple is Neptune, right? And addiction, and being involved with quote unquote narcissists, which she's had more than her share of. Famous story. She said, if you ever want to kick cocaine, spend the night in a private theater with Quentin Tarantino, Paul Thomas Anderson, and an ounce of coke. That'll cure your habit. And I think that's exactly what happened. So she does have some addiction issues. Mercury Neptune square, and those Mercury Neptune squares like beautiful illusions, but they also can, with the retrograde, the lies and the what's the word I'm looking for? Cognitive dissonance will rear its ugly head. So she has some Neptune. It's interesting because she spent a long time between records at times. And I think that has a lot to do with Pluto and her true node in the 12th house. Like there is something very, very reclusive about her. That she's just happy at home and having a home studio. And now she does these dorky little videos with her dog. And I think the pandemic was probably one of the best things that ever happened to her. But she got to stay at home. She loved it. She got to hang out in her 12th house and not have to go anywhere, not have to tour. And don't get me wrong, I think she enjoys touring. Clearly, she's got the sun and moon in the 11th house, and she's got a band that she's been able to keep together for a long time. But you can just see how swift and sudden everything was in her career. Like even with Uranus, the Jupiter-Uranus trine, the Mars-Uranus trine, when she hit, it was fast. And that's clearly in the chart. Very close relationship with the father. She moves, right? She's close to her father and her mother, but in different ways. Father plays more of a role in terms of her career. Of course, she went to LA to go live with him. Right? There's Venus, Saturn. And then her mother and her are very, very close. And she has a bunch of siblings, and they all seem pretty close, but you don't know about them because they're all hanging out in her 8th house, right? Which has nothing in it. Very interesting chart. It's not quite a bundle chart. She's not as bundled up as some other artists. But how would I describe her chart? I say she's probably got kind of a locomotive chart. And a locomotive chart is one of those charts that's kind of rare, right? So Neptune would be the lead planet in the locomotive chart. And then everything here is the car on the train, right? So it starts with inspiration, Neptune, second house. Money doesn't mean anything to her. I can tell you that right now. As long as she's creative and gets to do what she wants, right? Like Neptune determines everything. But it has to have its resolution in Mars, Jupiter, which is going to be some degree of productivity. But even with Mars and Cancer, it's not wholly productive. It's again tidal, right? Wasn't that the name of one of her records? Tidal. She's tidal in terms of production. This is how Cancer works. Cancer ruled by the tides, and so she's a tidal artist. Very interesting chart. Not a lot of air. She's got that Pluto, true node. So for her to get any kind of real perspective on her life, she has to sequester herself away from the rest of the world and go write and sing about her relationships, most of which are quite intense. And what was really interesting about it, she was raped when she was a kid. She was like, yeah, I'm over it. She's kind of moved on, moved on. And you can even see the rape, right, with the Mars-Pluto square in her chart, and Pluto being in the 12th house. So there you go. There's your star of the day, the great Fiona Apple. All right, so I got a little business to take care of. I have some spots still left for my events. And let me go to my webpage. I have not been promoting my events enough. And I have a few spots left. I got 10 spots left for my events. Right there, the harvest moon. It's on the eclipse right here in the hill country. And this woman, Shauna Home, is going to be with us. Shauna is amazing. Shauna is the author of 3 books, right? Love and Spirit Medicine, Eshell Wisdom, and of course, The Mushrooms Apprentice. Love and Spirit Medicine. If you haven't bought it, if you're a woman or even a dude, you haven't bought this book, shame on you. Shame on you. It's Eat, Love, Pray meets Terrence McKenna, okay? You got to get it. And Shauna is dynamic. She's a force. And she is going to share with us some of her secrets of manifestation. She's an Aries. And you're not going to want to miss this. She's going to be around the whole conference. She's going to be such a great resource to be around. And she is our keynote speaker on Saturday. I'll be speaking on Saturday. We're going to have Dr. Narco Longo. He'll be there coming in, making a cameo appearance from Old World, Florida. We've got Darlena, and she's going to be doing a really cool thing on the eclipse and human design. We have Leela doing some stuff on tremor release therapy. We're going to have a fucking cool piece of technology from Russia that is set up to kind of recalibrate you. You'll be able to try that out. We're going to have great food, great weather, and we have the eclipse. Plus, my buddy Mark S. is going to be there doing spiritual caricatures. You're going to have your own caricature. This is going to be a great event. An absolute great event. That's where it's going to be, right there. There's my buddy, Mark S. of Cruelty Free Tunes. We're going to be partying away on Saturday night. He's going to be drawing people up. It's going to be awesome. And we've got about 10 spots left. So I urge you, if you're interested, go to this place, the Inn of the Hills, right here. Here's what I'm going to do. If you sign up in the next by Sunday, I'm going to waive the 7-Eleven fee and just be $6.50. Here's the link right there. Bang. It's Stripe. It's not PayPal. I know there's an aversion to PayPal. It's not PayPal. So it's going to be a great time, and I hope to see as many people there. It's once in a lifetime. Once in a fucking lifetime. You're going to be right in the heart of the eclipse. And this is the one to be at. The one in April, get your zombie guns out. All right. I'm going over to 15 Minutes of Flame, which is going to be on Rumble today. Now that my internet's back up, I can go in and see if I can fix my website, put the finishing touches to it, and that's it for today. Thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate all your support, all your help, all your love, right? Your camaraderie. I'm having a Mars and Libra moment. We're in it together. Okay. Use your head in order to discern what's real, your heart to set what's possible. Don't forget our sponsor, True Hemp Science. Go on over there, spend $100 on their great products. Type in 15MINS, 15MINS. Look at that. I got a thing going on my third eye. It's being activated. And you'll get free product. You'll get a goodie bag with some free stuff from True Hemp Science. Go do it. Support a local business. And I hope to see you here a month from now in the Hill Country. You won't regret it. Every time we do one of these events, people leave supercharged and ready to get back in their lives. And there's going to be so many resources available. So there you go. Thanks. Use your head in order to discern what's real, your heart to set what's possible. I'm Robert Phoenix. Have yourself a great day. And if it's already mostly over, well, enjoy the heck out of your night. And now that it's nighttime, get into your de-adulting. There you go. Bye for now.